A few weeks ago, the cinematic masterpiece Bill and Ted Face the Music was released to theaters, but instead of talking about that movie I wanted to talk about the two that came before it. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Now, I know this sounds bonkers. After all, this is just Bill and Ted, a mindless popcorn movie about two kids traveling through time. But there's actually a lot more care and effort put in these movies, contrary to what you might think. Not only is this one of the few time travel movies that adhere to its own rules, but the way these movies use them is amazing.
What are you doing home, Dad?
I'm looking for my keys.
Oh.
You haven't done anything with them, have you?
After the report, we'll time travel back to 2 days ago, steal your dad's keys, and leave them here. Where? I don't know. How about behind that sign?
And today, I wanted to talk about why Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is a most excellent sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and that's what I'm gonna do. Now remember, there's no such thing as a perfect movie. Even masterpieces like Fan-4-Stick, Superman 4, and Batman and Robin have their faults. But there is such thing as a most excellent sequel, and because I'm a lazy piece of human garbage, I'll be using Shafrilla's Productions checklist for what makes a most excellent sequel. It still sucks that he actively wastes time in his videos hating on cars, but I'm going to ignore that for now. 1. Expand the universe of the first movie. 2. Continue the story in a compelling way. 3. Expand the themes of the original or introduce new themes. And 4. Leave a positive impact on your franchise. Examples of most excellent sequels include Aliens, X2, Empire Strikes Back, Spider-Man 2, and Logan, and if you disagree then prepare to fight me in the comments section. Trust me, I think I'll win. So let's go through the checklist. 1. Expand the universe of the first movie. Aliens does this perfectly, introducing the alien queen, mech suits, and we get to see more of the Wayland Corporation and how it ticks. This is also why Alien Resurrection sucked so much, but let's save that can of worms for another day. Continuing the story in a compelling way. Spider-Man 2 doesn't drop anything from the first movie, instead using these narrative threads to its advantage, continuing them in a natural and interesting way.
Here's your change!
Expanding the themes of the last movie or introducing new, compelling ones. I feel this is a slam dunk for Logan. Not only does it adapt a new, Western look that makes it completely different than any other superhero movie before it, but it also introduces themes of depression, loneliness, and has way more heart than any other X-Men movie. And finally, leave a positive impact on your franchise. The Empire Strikes Back is an obvious example of this. The plot of the prequels revolves around the I am your father scene, spoilers for a 30-year-old movie by the way, and changes the characters of both Luke and Darth Vader are changed by this one scene. X2 introduces a ton of new and important characters like Nightcrawler, Lady Deathstrike, Pyro, Colossus, and William Stryker, even if they all don't have massive roles in that movie. Seeing how I'm already ripping off Shafrilla's Productions, I figured I'd also talk about decent and bad sequels. The Return of Jafar is an okay film and an okay sequel. It does continue the story of the first with Jafar's big return, and it does leave an impact on the franchise, spawning the Aladdin TV show and killing the best character of the movie. It also shifts the focus to other characters and has themes of redemption sprinkled throughout. But it's still only a decent sequel, seeing how it takes the focus off the actually interesting characters and sets it on a talking parrot. Then there's bad sequels. Shrek the Third is the textbook example of how not to do a sequel, dropping everything the first two movies had and instead choosing to fill itself with edgelord humor. It doesn't expand the universe, continue the story or themes, or leave any impact on the franchise. It feels like a bad side story that the executives mistaken for a movie, while the good movie, Shrek 4, sat on the shelf for 3 more years. Ralph Breaks the Internet destroys the characters of Ralph and Vanellope, doesn't bother with the themes of acceptance from the first one, and while I don't hate the idea of going to the internet, that idea pales in comparison to previous ideas like crossing over with Mario. Not to mention they cut out the good characters from the first and replaced them with these new, awful ones.
Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big strong man showed up?
Yes!
Pacific Rim Uprising took a great movie in Pacific Rim and filled it with Michael Bay humor, new and much less interesting characters, and drops the themes of putting our differences aside to fight a common enemy and instead becomes a big, dumb robot movie. All of these sequels take a crap on the original and are the reason so many people hate sequels. Now that we got that out of the way, let's finally talk about why Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is a most excellent sequel. It's obviously not a perfect movie, no movie is, but it manages to hit every one of these standards. So let's talk about that. Bogus Journey seeks to show us new parts of the Bill and Ted universe, focusing less on the gimmick of the first movie and features new settings, characters, and concepts. It's not that it drops them entirely, but it knows that we've already seen that and doesn't waste much time on it. The movie sees Bill and Ted being killed by their evil robot counterparts and getting sent to hell when an attempt to contact Ted's mother goes wrong. We get to see how this universe hell works, how it subjugates people to their own personal hells. When they get into heaven, we get to see how that place works as well. We get to see the future that Bill and Ted make by writing the song that brought the world together and how they teach children there, oddly enough. You can't say this sequel isn't original. It also introduces new characters, like Death, who is one of the best parts of the movie.
Hit. You have sunk my battleship.
Bogus Journey also continues the story of these two in a natural way. Now that they're out of high school, Bill and Ted are trying to start their band, the Wild Stallions. On top of that, Ted's dad is still pushing for him to join military school. Things like that anchor Bogus Journey to the first movie and continue the story on from that movie instead of ignoring it like Uprising did. You might be thinking, aha. Bogus Journey might expand the universe and continue the story, but the Bill and Ted movies don't have themes to expand or continue. I've gotten you cornered, fantastic nerds. Unsubscribbled. And to that I say,
wrong.
Again, while Bill and Ted might look like a dumb popcorn movie, it's a lot smarter than people give it credit for. And if you think about it, the theme of these two movies is rather obvious.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes!
This is what permeates the first Bill and Ted movie. Ted's father is not excellent to his son, having so little faith in him that he has him signed up for military school before he even gets a chance to prove his dad wrong. On the other hand, characters like Bill and Ted are excellent to everyone, and it's this excellence that will one day unite the world. The theme of Bill and Ted's excellent adventure is be excellent to everyone and you can change the world, and that's what Bogus Journey continues to say. Evil robot Bill and Ted are not excellent to everyone. Bill and Ted, on the other hand, are excellent to everyone. Despite being dumb teenagers, these two are filled with heart and are indeed excellent to everyone. And finally, leave an undeniable impact on the franchise. Bogus Journey introduces fan-favorite Death, played by William Sadler, and ends with Bill and Ted having children, which play a prominent role in the next movie. So yeah, Bogus Journey is indeed a most excellent sequel. I don't really have much else to talk about, so yeah. If you want more content like this, then subscribe to the channel, leave a comment because it helps the algorithm notice me, and I'll see you guys next time. Nerd out.